Hare Krishna everyone. Thank you for joining. Let's make a start with Radha Madhav. Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopijana Vallabha Jaya Yogira Vardhari Jaya Gopijana Vallabha Jaya Yogira Vardhari Yashodanandana Vrajjana Ranjana Shodanandana Vrajjana Ranjana Yamuna Tiravanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Agyantimirnasya Gyananjana Shalakya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Nama Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swam Rupa Kadameyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuttapada Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavscha Shri Rupam Sagrijatam Sagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivan Sadhvetam Savadutam Krishna Setam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitam Scha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kant Radha Kant Namastute Tapta Kanchan Gaurangi Radhe Vindavaneshwari Rishabhanu Sutadevi Pran Mami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatu Vrihascha Kripa Sindhave Vacha Patitana Pavnebhyo Vaishnavyo Namo Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Pasthaya Bhutale Śrīmate Bhaktivedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Parcharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasdi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Mukham Kroti Vachalam Pangum Langyate Grim Yat Kirpatam Vande Shri Guru Din Taranam Paramananda Madham Chitanesham Variyam Tasat Narayan Namaskritya Narab Jeva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jemadhuri Nashta Prasya Abdureshu Nityam Bhagavata Bhagavati Uttam Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Neshtiki. Okay, so thank you once again for joining. Last time we were discussing that the other processes of power and devotion service can be a little bit dangerous, like with acquiring powers and some people start thinking now they have some powers and they get fame. That's one thing. You get puffed up by fame. And the other is they start thinking that maybe I have become God, or at least in the eyes of people they seem like God because they have these special powers. And which is, it's all material. It's very dangerous when you are puffed up with fame and prestige. Then you tend to forget God. You put yourself in the center. So that's not a good thing for bhakti. It works against your bhakti. And even when you are doing bhakti, fame and prestige and position, they are very dangerous. So you have to be very careful. Na dhanam, na janam, na sundrim. You have to be very careful of all these things. In Sikshastakam, Mahaprabhu has packed everything in there. There's everything in there for the looker, for the searcher who's searching, can find everything in there. And Mahaprabhu explained, although he's God, he says, na dhanam, na janam, na sundrim. So we have to be very careful of these things because we can easily become eluded by these. So let's carry on and let's see. Okay. So verse 25, which we couldn't do. Andakosha sharirasmin saptavaran samyute virajha purusho yosau bhagwan dharana ashraya. So andakosha with the universal shell, sharire in the body of, asmin, this sapat sevenfold, avaran coverings, samyute having so done, virajaha the gigantic universal, purusha from the Lord, yah that, asau he, Bhagwan the personality Godhead, dharana conception, and ashraya object of. So the gigantic universe form of the personality Godhead within the body of the universal shell, which is covered by sevenfold material elements, is the subject for the Virat conception. So as we're saying that many people worship the Virat Roop because they see everything around as God, so they worship the Virat Roop. And sometimes describes a pantheism, that everything material, everything is God, right? Because it's all comes from God, so it's also God. Simultaneously, the Lord has multifarious other forms, and all of them are identical with the original fountainhead form of the Lord Sri Krishna. In the Bhagavad-Gita, it has been proven that the original transcendental and eternal form of the Lord is Sri Krishna, the absolute personality Godhead. But by his inconceivable internal potency, Atam Maya, he can expand himself by multifarious forms and incarnations simultaneously, not just one by one, simultaneously, and still there's no reduction in his energy, in his powers, without being diminished in his full potency. He is complete, and all the innumerable complete forms emanate from him. He is still Puran or complete, without any loss. That is his spiritual or internal potency. In the 7th chapter of the Bhagavad-Gita, the personal Godhead, Lord Krishna, manifested his Virat Roop just to convince the less intelligent class of men who cannot, in the 11th chapter of the Bhagavad-Gita, who cannot conceive of the Lord as appearing just like a human being, that he factually has the potency of his claim to be the supreme absolute person without any rival or superior. So there's no one equal to him, no one better than him. Materialistic men can think, although very imperfectly, of the huge universe space, comprehending an innumerable number of planets as big as the sun, They can see only the circular sky overhead, without any information that this universe, as well as many of the hundreds or thousands of universes, are each covered by sevenfold material coverings of the water, fire, air, sky, ego, so noumenon, and material nature. So that's 7. Just like a huge football, pumped and covered, floating on the water of the causal ocean, wherein the Lord is lying as Mahavishnu. All the universes in seed are emanating from the breathing of Mahavishnu, who is but part of a partial expansion of the Lord. As we're saying, that this like Chaturvihos and Balaram, so many expansions before you even get to Vishnu. And all the universes presided over by the Brahmas vanish when the Mahavishnu withdraws his great breath. So everything emanates from his breath and everything is withdrawn when he breathes in. In this way, the material worlds are being created and vanished by the supreme will of the Lord. The poor, foolish materialist can just imagine how ignorantly he puts forward an insignificant creature to become his rival incarnation simply on the allegations of a dying man. The Virat Roop was particularly exhibited by the Lord just to give lessons to such foolish men, so that one can accept a person as the incarnation of Godhead only if such a person is able to exhibit such a Virat Roop as Lord Krishna did. The materialistic person may concentrate his mind upon the Virat or gigantic form of the Lord in his own interest and as recommended by Shukadeva Goswami. But he must be on his guard not to be misled by pretenders who claim to be the identical person as Lord Krishna, but are not able to act like him or exhibit the Virat Roop, comprehending the whole of the universe. Yes, so this the audacity of the minute, insignificant jiva to think that they are God. This is like one of the diseases that we have with the jiva's illusionary state, is that they start thinking they are God. And so Krishna has given some checks you can do. If they want to claim to be God, then they can show that they are God by showing these various forms. Then yes, then we believe you're God. Not just because you can appear, disappear, and produce things out of your hands. That's just magic or illusion. That's not God. So 25. Okay, so nothing to add to that one. So that's the state of that. Right. Patalam etasyahi padamulam patanti parshani prapade rastalam mahatalam vishvasya gulphav talatalam vai purushasya jange. So Patalam, the planets at the bottom of the universe. Etasya, of his, he, exactly. Pad Moolam, soles of the feet. Patanti, they study it. Parshani, the heels. Prapade, the toes. Ras Atalam, the planet's name Rasatal. Mahatalam, the planet's name Mahatal. Vishva Srijaha, of the creator of the universe. Thus Gulpahu, the ankles. Talatalam, the planet's name Talatal. Vai, as they are. Purushasya, of the gigantic person. Jange, the shanks. So persons who have realized it have studied that the planets known as Patal constitute the bottoms of the feet of the universal Lord. So that's of the universal form. And the heels and the toes are the Rasatal planets. The ankles are the Mahatal planets, and his shanks constitute the Talatal planets. So that's like that, how the like the human-like form of the universal form is described. Outside the bodily existence of the Supreme Personality Godhead, the manifested cosmic existence has no reality. Everything and anything of the manifested world rests on Him, as confirmed in Bhagavad-Gita 9.4, but that does not imply that everything and anything in the vision of a materialist is the Supreme Personality. The conception of the universal form of the Lord gives a chance to the materialist to think of the Supreme Lord, but the materialist must know for certain that his visualization of the world in a spirit of lording it over it is not God realization. The materialistic view of exploitation of the material resources occasioned by the illusion of the external energy of the Lord. And as such, if anyone wants to realize the supreme truth by conceiving of the universal form of the Lord, he must cultivate the service attitude. Unless the service attitude is revived, the conception of Virat realization will have very little effect on the seer. The transcendental Lord in any conception of his form is never a part of the material creation. He keeps his identity as Supreme Spirit in all circumstances and is never affected by the three material qualities or the three modes, for everything material is contaminated. The Lord always exists by his internal energy. The universe is divided into 14 planetary systems. So now describing how this Virat Roop is made up. Oh, it's an imaginary form, right? It's imaginary form, that's all it is. The universe is divided into 14 planetary systems. 7 planetary systems called the Bhur, Bhuvar, Swar, Mahar, Janas, Tapas and Satya. Right? These are the higher planets, are upward planetary systems, one above the other. There are also 7 planetary systems downward, known as Atal, Vital, Sutal, Talatal, Mahatal, Rasatal and Patal. So gradually one below the other. In this verse, the description begins from the bottom, because it is in the line of devotion that the Lord's bodily description should begin from his feet. Yes, that's interesting, yeah. So Sukadeva Goswami is recognized devotee of the Lord, and he is exactly correct in the description. So the upper planets start with Bhur, Bhavar, Swar. So you're going upwards, right? Bhur, Bhavar, Swar, Mahar, Janas, Tapas and Satyalok, where Brahma resides. So we're looking from the bottom going up, and then the lower planets will below our earth, in other words. So Bhurlok is like the earthly planets, and then lower than that is the start to the right at the bottom. Then again, so Atal, Vital, Sutal, Talatal, Mahatal, Rasatal and Patal. So like that, it works its way up. There are also 7 planetary systems downwards. From the bottom, begins from the bottom, because it is in line with devotion that the Lord's body description. So when we're looking at the Lord, we always start looking from the feet, or at least that's what we're supposed to be doing. We look at the feet, and then you work your way up eventually to the face, because it's like considered an offense to look at the face of the Lord and then go to the feet. Always look at the feet, work your way up to the face. So even if you're looking at the, in other words, if you're looking at the, or if you're considering the Virat Roop, is mentioned that always consider the lowest and then work your way up. So that's very interesting. What was mentioned here. Okay. C27. Tave januni sutlam vishvamuriter urudavyam vitalam chatalam cha mahitalam taj jaghanam mahipate nabhastaram nabhisaro garanti. So the way to Januni, two knees, Sutalam, the planetary system named Sutal, Vishiv Murte of the universe, Uru Davyam, the two thighs, Vitalam, the planet system named Vital, Cha also Atalam, the planets named Atal, Cha and Mahitalam, the planet system named Mahital. That of that, Jaganam is the hips, Mahipate of king, O king, Nabhastalam, outer space, Nabi, Sarha, the depression of the navel, Gananti, they take it so. So the knees of the universal form are the planet systems of the name Sutal, and the two thighs are the Vital and Atal planet systems. The hips are Mahital, and outer space is the depression of his navel. So the universal form is being described here as bodily parts of the Lord. Ura sthalam jyoti anikam asya griva meher vandanam vejano asya tapo vratim viduradi pumsa satyam tu shirshani sahasra shanaha. So urha, high, sthalam, place, jyoti anikam, the luminary planets, asya of him, griva, the neck, maha, the planet system above the luminaries, Vadanam, mouth, by exactly Jana, the planetary system above Mahar, Asya of him, Tapha, the planetary system above the Janas, Bharatem, forehead, Vidu is known, Adi, the original, Pumsa, personality, Satyam, the topmost planetary system, Tubat, Shani, the head, Sahasra 1000, Shirshana, one with heads. So the chest of the original personality of the gigantic form is the luminary planetary system. His neck is the Mahar planets. His mouth is the Janus planets. And his forehead is the Tapas planetary system. The topmost planetary system, known as Satyalok, is the head of he who has 1000 heads. So the effulgent luminary planets like the sun and the moon are situated almost in the mid place of the universe, and as such they are known to be known as the chest of the original gigantic form of the Lord. And above the luminary planets, called also the heavenly places of the universal directorate, demigods are the Mahar, Janus and Tapas planet systems, and above all the Satyalok planet system, where the chief directors of the modes of material nature reside, namely Vishnu, Brahma and Shiva. This Vishnu is known as the Shiro Dakshai Vishnu, and he acts as the super soul in every living being. There are innumerable universes floating on the causal ocean, and in each of them the representation of the Virat form of the Lord is there, along with innumerable suns, moons, heavenly demigods, Brahmas, Vishnus and Shivas, all of them situated in one part of the inconceivable potency of the Lord Krishna, as stated in the Bhagavad-Gita. So, why are we discussing all this? Well, it just shows, we're talking about this to show the inconceivability of the Lord, the potency of the Lord, and the unlimitedness of the Lord, and also, most importantly, how much trouble he goes into. These universes are only there because we have desires. These bodies are all there because we have desires, just to fulfill our various desires. He goes into so much trouble. So he actually gives 1/4 of his creation is unlimited, but if you were to measure it, which we cannot, but still, just for theoretically speaking, he gives 1/4 of his creation so that we can go and fulfill our material desires. So the material world, universe is everything, all included, forms about 1/3. So in other words, spiritual world is 3 times bigger than the material world. And we're not talking about just this universe, we're talking about the unlimited universes of the material world. and yet still the spiritual world is 3 times bigger. But we somehow we were not satisfied. We wanted to fulfill some desires, and here we are. And he has formed this material creation, and he got his engineer, Lord Brahma, which actually is also a jiva, just like us. But he got the opportunity to serve, and it's understood that we all have been Brahma at some time or other, and to create or to design. All the materials were given by Lord, but he got Brahma, the secondary creator, to design this material world, to fulfill the desires of the jiva. So, and the jivas are sort of injected into the material worlds according to their desire. So we must have some kind of what you call, some barcodes or something. What do they call them nowadays? Okay. But anyway, so it's all day. What we want, and even like after that the karmas and everything. So when we go back into Mahavishnu, we come again, and we send to the appropriate places, we're according to our karma and our desires. So there's so much going on just for us. I mean, the karmas start coming when you have desires, then you're going to accumulate karmas as well. And so good karmas, bad karmas, and we're sent to the appropriate place. It doesn't necessarily mean that once we're in this universe, when there's partial annihilation, we go back into body of Mahavishnu, then we may end up in a different universe, because we're really not related to anyone. We only related to Krishna. It's not like, we're going to come back here because we got family here or something. There's nobody family. It's just an illusion. It's just a game. It's just temporary relationships. We have so many mothers, so many fathers, so many children, like that, so many friends, families. So nobody, we are alone, to be honest. We are alone in this material world. Our real mother and father are there in the spiritual world. We are alone here, and then we are sent here and there, just like the upside down tree in chapter 15 Bhagavad-Gita. We are just climbing up and down the universe, in this universe, other universes, getting different types of bodies. We are on our own, and we are going here and there, bhatak rahe, as they say. We are lost in this material world, and yet we are controlled by the material energy, which throws us from here to there. And yet we think we own this world, or we are God, that we are the controllers, we're the proprietors of this and that. It's just an illusion. We've just been sent here and there. You live certain amount of life, and then that's it. That story is then finished. You go on somewhere else, start another story. It's not that it's continued chapter to chapter. That's it. That chapter once finished, then it's a totally new story. After that, somewhere else. That's all that's going on. But yet, we seem to think that everything is forever, and we are going to be forever. We just don't understand the temporariness of the situation. Okay. So that's 28, and we'll just do 29. Indradyo bhav ahur usraha karnau disha shrotram amushya shabdaha na satya dasrau paramasya nase grano syagando mukham agni idha. So Indra Adhya, demigods headed by the heavenly king Indra, Bhava, arms, Ahu are called Usraha, the demigods, Karnau, the ears, Disha, the 4 direction, Shrotram, the sense of hearing, Amushya, of the Lord, Shabda, sound, Nasatya, the Sraut, the demigods known as the Ashwini Kumars, Paramasya, of the Supreme, Nase, nostrils, Grana, the sense of smell, Asya, of him, Gandha, fragrance, Mukham, the mouth, Agni, fire, and Ida, blazing. His arms are the demigods, headed by Indra. The 10 directional sides are his ears, and his physical sound is his sense of hearing. His nostrils are the 2 Ashwini Kumars, and material fragrance is his sense of smell. His mouth is the blazing fire. So we're talking here about the knowledge acquiring senses and the working senses. Now different demigods are described to through, so it's all Krishna. Everything is Krishna. The description of the gigantic form of the personal God made in the 11th chapter of the Bhagavad-Gita is further explained here in Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. So this is why this is a higher study. So Krishna, in his 45 minutes or 40 minutes speaking to Arjun, he touched upon everything and then it's further expanded. It's like doing a master's degree. You do touch on things in the degree, and then the masters you expand on them even more. So that's what this is. This is the master study. The description in the Bhagavad-Gita 11.30 runs as follows: O Vishnu, I see you devouring all people in your blazing mouth. So that was Arjun saying, right? And covering all the universe by your immeasurable rays, scorching the worlds, you are manifest. In that way, Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam is the so he says it's the postgraduate study for the student of the Bhagavad-Gita. So that was a graduation, and now we are being postgraduate. But both of them are the science of Krishna, the absolute truth, and so they are interdependent. The conception of the Virat Purusha, or the gigantic form of the Supreme Lord, is said to include all the dominating demigods as well as the dominated living beings. Even the minutest part of a living being is controlled by the empowered agency of the Lord. So what control do we have? There's a presiding deity for each of our senses. I'm seeing, I'm hearing, I'm speaking. It's all controlled. And it can be taken away at any time. So we should be grateful for everything we are given. Every minute thing. Even be grateful for breathing. We are able to breathe because Krishna has given us that opportunity. We don't have any control. I'm talking, breathing at the same time. I don't have any control over my breathing. It's happening automatically. Since the demigods are included in the gigantic form of the Lord, worship of the Lord, whether in his gigantic material conception or in his eternal form as Lord Shri Krishna, also appeases the demigods and all the other parts and parcels, as much as watering the root of a tree distributes energy to all of the trees or the parts. So just want to read that again. So worship of the Lord, whether in his gigantic material conception or i.e. the Virat Roop, or his eternal transcendental form as Lord Krishna. So whether it's Virat Roop or Lord Krishna himself, also appeases the demigods and all the other parts and parcels. So demigods are parts and parcels, and we are the parts and parcels, as much as voting the root. So Krishna is the root cause of everything. He is the root of everything. Voting the root of a tree distributes energy to all of the trees or the parts. So why go into trouble of watering all the different branches and twigs and and the leaves when you can just water the root and the rest will take care of itself? The system is there. Consequently, for a materialist also, worship of the universal gigantic form of the Lord leads one to the right path. So at least you're on the right path, because you're worshipping Krishna in his different form, but it's not direct. Indirectly, you are. One need not risk being misled by approaching many demigods for fulfillment of different desires. And now, that if somebody is worshipping demigods and thinks they are higher, or they are really attached to them, this explains why it's not necessary. And we ignore the demigods, but it's not necessary to worship them completely, because the root is Krishna himself. Is the root of all the demigods and all the jivas. One need not risk being misled by approaching many demigods for fulfillment of different desires. The real entity is the Lord himself, and all others are imaginary, for everything is included in him only. So they're all just like expansions of energy. Really, the reality is the Krishna himself. Just like the material world, it's Krishna's energy. You can withdraw it anytime. So like that, the energetic is Krishna, rest is energies. That's the bottom line. Okay, let's stop here. Thank you so very much. I hope it made some kind of sense. It's making sense to me, because I think it's very interesting. And it's for people, who do worship. So there are people out there who worship the Virat Roop, or worship different energies. It will be an eye-opener that Virat Roop is just an imaginary shape or form of the Lord. The real form is the eternal form as Lord Shri Krishna. Hare Krishna. So, thank you, Punikaksh Prabhu. What do you think, Prabhuji?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you so much. And this is the toughest topic to understand or visualize, basically. Unless somebody depicts this information in this format, it's very hard to even understand this. And before reading Srila Prabhupada purports, I never know. I mean, this has not been discussed in any other lineage, that any other sampradaya, about Kshirodakshaya Vishnu, Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, and Mahavishnu. This kind of topic is very new to anybody. They don't even have this terminology in their philosophy at all. But Prabhupada nicely mentioned about Krishna and Krishna's expansions, and not just one universe. That there are millions of universes, and every universe have got Kshirodakshaya Vishnu. Along with that, universal form also exists in every universe. So as Prabhupada says that nothing is coming just like that. It's already there. When needed, Lord just manifest. It's not that it's created on time. It's just manifest. But it is already there. Um, and one point which is very related for me is like, to see the universal form of the Lord, one must cultivate the service attitude. So without the service attitude, you cannot get Krishna. That's the important thing. So this all creation topic is very difficult to absorb, but the ultimate point is to serve Krishna, understand that Krishna is the supreme Lord, and all these forms are actually originating from Krishna, as Krishna says in Bhagavad-Gita, Aham sarvasya prabhu matta sarvam pravartate iti matva bhajante mam. So for everything, for cause and reason is Krishna. Understanding Krishna as the supreme Lord is the key for this one. It's amazing how Lord Krishna managed all these things. Again, at the same time, he also expands himself, come and perform pastimes just to attract us. That is so amazing, Prabhuji. That's all. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Jai. Kiran Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, everybody. Yes, creation is not an easy topic to get our heads around. But there will be those fakes and cheats who will claim that they are God. And that's all they are, just cheats and fakes and charlatans. Because ultimately, there is only one who takes us from the unreal to the real, from darkness to light, from mortality of this existence to immortality of the lokas and, of course, Goloka, Vrindavan. And that's only Krishna who can do this. He gives us an understanding of how he is the creator of this universe, the parallel universes and the multiverses. And even now, Hollywood's getting its head around it. Even Spider-Man can see that there are multiverses. And so it's this attitude we have to render, that Krishna is the be-all and end-all. And he's the beginning, middle, and end. And he reminds Arjun, there was never a time when I didn't know you as the soul. And so this is the magnitude of this Sanatan Dharam we're in. It is not just in a league of its own, it's in a Premier League. It wins the World Cup every 4 years, time and time and time again. There's no competition. And anybody who follows any other processes, it's a matter for them. But Krishna says, abandon all those false and cheating religions. Come to me, and I will look after you. And we're part of that winning team. We are on the precipice of winning the World Cup, the bigger World Cup. That's to be in Goloka Vrindavan. And he tells us all this is just an illusion. Nothing is permanent. All this will end. And all this Maya and this illusion of home, family, fame, gain, a home by the sea, a color TV, will all go. I'm offering you something better. Just surrender to me. And there is so much you can achieve and see. This is the highest knowledge I'm offering. Don't miss out on it. I've given you the senses, but if your senses are preoccupied with mundane desires, then I've also given you free will. It's up to you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thanks so much, Prabhu. Yeah, and as you do wonder why. I think we may have discussed this before. That why this talks so much about creation. Canto 2, even in Canto 3, creation is discussed, and even the sages of Namasharanya, they want to hear about Krishna. They want to, they want to get the rasa, hearing about his pastimes, get the bliss. But you have to talk about creation. Maharaj Parikshit has got 7 days to live. And creation, like you said, is a very big topic, is a complicated topic. But it must be important if Sukadeva Goswami, has given so much emphasis to it. So yeah. So the glory of the Lord lies in His creation, right? His energies. That's this. I think that's what Sukadeva Goswami is trying to tell us, that unless you can have the pastimes, well, we know about the pastimes, but there's a lot of stuff that we don't know, and Sukadeva Goswami wants to cover different aspects of the Lord at work. Lord at home we know about, but what about Lord at work? What is it like at work? And this is Lord at work, His creation as Lord at work. Thank you, Prabhu. Jai. Okay, Mataji is listening only. So we'll go to Ajaya. Hari Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yes. Parikshit Maharaj, Shukadeva Goswami, I think they understood that not all the sages were in the devotional line in terms of bhakti. Some were impersonalists as well. So they had to provide topics that would actually attract them, get them, just trying to essentially show why bhakti is foremost and such. So creation is important because it helps guide us towards the devotional process. It can be hard for some to take to it directly. And obviously, a number of devotees here have spoken about how this can be a difficult topic to process. I think ultimately you have to keep trying to relate it back to the Lord. That's why he keeps mentioning that these lokas is relating to the Lord's form. Should Bhagavatam itself be related to the Lord's form? For example, Canto 1 and 2 are Krishna's lotus feet. Ultimately, try and make sense of it all. You have to keep relating it to Krishna. Otherwise, it can be a bit much like, what's this or why is this necessary? Why is that necessary? Well, it's necessary because all the living entities are being given a chance to get back to Godhead. It just depends where they are in the journey. Some are ready to do in this life. Others maybe a long way away, yet at least have, in terms of how we think about it. But everyone is being maintained, at least, and they will be given opportunity back time and time again. Even if you go to Narayan, you can still be redeemed as such. You'll pass your time or whatever your previous sinful activities, but it's not that it's over. You're stuck there forever as such. You're still given a chance to then raise yourself to a higher platform through the various processes, and that is why it is such a blessing to take the bhakti, because these processes can take a long time. They're not always straightforward, and you can make mistakes along the way as well. It's like with for example, when the rishis would do sacrifices, they didn't always pan out correctly. Sometimes they would go wrong as well. So rather than getting benefit, they might get sinful effect of it. Because for example, the animals sacrificed, an old animal sacrificed to give it to a new body, might not always get a new body. It might not work out. That's why like chanting the holy name, Sankirtan Yajna, is so wonderful, because there is that there is that sense that we avoid offenses. We can give this bhakti a lot easier as well. It's a lot easier to attract people with Sankirtan as opposed to trying to explain to them philosophically how this all makes sense. So yes, it's always important to relate it back to Krishna, because then we can make sense of it. Otherwise, we start speculating ourselves, and then that's when we get into trouble. So just keep related to Krishna. Very well.
Haribol, thank you so much. Yeah, wonderful.
Hare Krishna everyone, my pranams to all of you. Yes, this Virat Roop is imaginary form. It's been done for the ones who don't accept Krishna as a person, who are not ready for the personal form. But when you first understand this, that this is imaginary, it really confuses you that how come this is imaginary, because in Bhagavad-Gita we also hear about it. But this is for the ones who are not ready. They can just see that God is so magnanimous. We don't even have the words to describe God. But when this creation is described, and Virat Roop, which is still called imaginary, they just give just kind of hint to those people that, look, this is how Krishna works. And if his works are so it's still difficult to find for me the right word for it. His works are all I can say out of this world. Then how is he like? And when slowly people they come to that understanding that Krishna is a person, we have to worship him as a person, but he is not like us. He is beyond our imagination. He has created everything. This not just our universe, that many universes have been created, and there are so many expansions of him, because his work is so much difficult for us to understand. If we find out that yes, he created everything, we have to understand that he gave this expansion this job, and this other expansion has got this other job, and this is how everything is functioning. I think Krishna knew that will be easier for our buddhis to understand, and that's why like Pundarikaksh Prabhu was saying, that no other sampradaya describes the three forms of Vishnu, only our sampradaya describes. So Prabhupada knew that at least by touching upon these three different forms of Vishnu, some little understanding will be there in our heads. We hear, we forget, and this is how our journeys are. This means that we are not quite ready if we keep forgetting. The day everything is going to be there in our heads, I think our real bhakti will have started. This is how it seems to me. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, thanks so much. Yeah, this is the thing, because like we only heard of like Vishnu, right, or Narayan. We only heard of Vishnu. Now, if they're telling you that if they start telling you that there's three Vishnu, then I think we're mind-boggling. So who's superior, who's inferior? So you start comparing. So we never heard that there are three Vishnus. So it helps to know, really put things into perspective. So if there are three Vishnus, so like I said, which is higher, which is lower, and where did these three Vishnus come from then? When there's three of them, then they must have come from somewhere else, because the Lord is only one. So yeah, it makes you start thinking, and yet nobody tells you these things. Only Prabhupada, he's given so much detail to everything, to put things. Like I said, we're talking about Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. There's so much information in there, and everything described, to minute detail. So we're blessed to have this. And if there's any doubts, any convincing, then it's all there. And like you say that these actually we'll discuss it anyway going further. How everything's so organized. It's not a fluke of nature. Where did nature come from in the first place? Or some people say it's a fluke of nature. Everything just go organized as the sun, and is given a just right amount of heat and light. Oh yeah, so in 30 years time the temperature will rise to 40 degrees plus, like that. It's still bearable. The countries already have that temperature in the 40s. We just have to make some changes to adapt our lifestyle to those temperatures. The buildings have to be adjusted. All the systems have to put into place so we can cope with those temperatures. But at the moment, it's just right. So we are able to live. So everything is well thought out, and according to body, we have you could say the other way around. The body is given according to the conditions of the planet, or you could say the planet is given conditions according to our body, whichever way you want to look at it. But it's all well thought out, so we can survive and use the body for what it's really meant for. So thank you very much. Grantha Shiv Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Prem Nande, Hari Hari Bol. We'll catch up with you all on Friday morning. Have a lovely Nirjala Ekadashi tomorrow. All the best if you are observing. All the best. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah.
Is today no Prabhuji Ekadashi?
Tomorrow.
Probably we want to do today as well. It's up to you.
Oh, it's today. It's tomorrow. I thought it is today only. So I'll drink water then first.
Well, you had a trial run.
Okay, no. Final is okay. One final is okay, Prabhu. Shall we do tomorrow then?
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.